All right, folks, a young educator and advocate who turns cyberbullying into purpose. Termario Daniels joins us now in studio. Morning, Termario.
Good morning.
To Smile. So I was reading, and it says you turned a personal challenge into who you are now in a global platform. Tell me what the personal challenge was and when.
So growing up, I do have what is called a lisp. Right, so the S's, the F's, some of the words that persons would have such a, ease with saying, I would have a delay. And it happened ever since birth. I actually didn't speak until I was 4 years old. And, growing up with a lisp has not been easy. I was bullied in high school. I was also bullied online. And I decided that enough is enough. Right, so when I became an adult, I ended up getting a chance to be in the media. I was a Jamaica Leader National Youth Hero for volunteerism, and that was when I decided that I wanted to, create a whole new platform for young people.
Yeah.
Right, I was intensively cyberbullied, and I decided that I'm going to create a podcast entitled The Boy with the Lisp. And on that podcast, it's my baby. We talk about mental health awareness and personal development. And I'm proud to announce that we are on stream on 2 platforms, that is on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. And we have been streamed in 47 countries worldwide independently.
47. So as a younger person, when did you realize that I talk a bit different from everybody else? And what went through your mind when you realized that?
I think just being around young people, being around my classmates and realizing, why do your essays sound like that? Why do you speak the way that you speak? But primarily, I think it was always a distinction. It runs in my family, and so I knew that I would have walked in having a challenge.
Was there anything that could have been done medically? Did you check that out, or you just say, well, this is what it is and move on?
I believe that the Lord makes things happen for a reason. And so I didn't feel comfortable in taking the surgical route because I felt like if I'm blessed with this for a reason, then I'm going to, see how best I can go through life.
Yeah. In that time, before you kind of said, I'm done with this, in that time with the cyberbullying, what was going through? How difficult was that for you for a young man?
Very difficult. I think that cyberbullying is one of those things that is now current and new, and persons didn't know how to deal with it. And so when I experienced it, it was an out-of-body experience. I remember that week feeling so depressed because here I am speaking on something that I love, which is giving back and impacting persons, and now I'm being bullied simply for the way how I speak. So it was not the easiest, but I'm glad I overcame, and I decided that I'm going to create a whole brand out of it. And I created The Boy with the Lisp, and it was well received globally.
Yeah. Well, you do many things, but you're a teacher, right?
Yes.
No, you teach math. What age group?
I teach high schoolers, and also I teach young adults.
So when the youngsters hear you for the first time, what's their reaction? They laugh at sir, and what do they do?
I get that all the time.
Even no?
Even no. But ultimately, I make it very clear in my classroom that it doesn't matter where you come from or what your circumstances are, that you are capable of success. And so I speak the way how I speak because I know that I wish I had that empowerment growing up. And so I try to create that environment in my classrooms. And it's not much of an issue when I get down to business.
Yeah, and the kids now accept it, or they still laugh and...
No, they're more accepting now than they were at the beginning. But I think it has to do with the fact that they have gotten used to me now, right? So it's not much of an issue now.
You teach math?
Mathematics.
Brother, how about that? Yeah, there's something in the whole world. Eh?
I don't think it's as hard as people think, I think that mathematics is one of those subjects that require you to critically think and to, test what your brain is capable of.
Yeah, yeah. You said already that there was a time that you got really depressed. Does this help you as a teacher when you see the youngsters with what they call the deviant behavior, and you kind of say, kind of feel and know what is going on with that young man. Does it help you?
Yes, it does aid in a little bit of relatability, right? Because now I can say, hey, I was at this point in my life before, and now I am here and I am impacting you, and I'm a highly sought after math teacher. So the world has its oyster. The world is your oyster.
Where's the next move for you?
Well, the next move for me is always impacting as much as I can. My podcast right now, we are at 47 countries worldwide.
What you do in the podcast? What you do? What you say?
Okay, so it's me alone. I do everything: marketing, editing, promotion, producing.
So what you talk about? What you do?
Mental health awareness and personal development.
Why mental health awareness? Because of what you went through?
But also the fact that I also have anxiety. And I felt like this was one of these things where I wanted to create a novel solution towards mental health awareness and personal development. Mental health is one of those things, especially in COVID, that persons used to not put at the forefront. And so now, when I created that podcast, I really wanted them to feel as if they have a therapist, a life coach right there at their fingertips, right? In a way that's accessible for young people right around the country.
Yep. You said you have an anxiety?
Yes, I do.
Explain that.
So anxiety in the senses of sometimes I get very nervous and, I'm always thinking about things ahead of time, and it causes a behavioral shift.
When you realized you were coming to do this interview and the entire Jamaica was going to be not only watching you, but hearing you, how did you feel?
When I got the call, it was one of those moments that I can't trade for the world. But also thinking about how many persons are watching, it is a scary thought, but I am glad that I stand here as someone who has overcome a lot to show that your fear does not have to limit you.
Did you think that I'm not going to do it?
Oh no, oh no. I knew I was going to do it because I knew I had a responsibility to show persons that it doesn't matter what your circumstances are, that you too can stand on stages like these.
Yeah, you answered the question already, because when I asked you if that could have been changed or fixed, you said you didn't want to do the surgery. But why, if you, as you said, as I said, you answered because you said God gave you this. But a lot of young people would say, no, I want to be normal, because some people think you are not normal. That's the only reason I said that, because obviously you are normal. So why? You never thought about doing it at all?
Never, ever. I think I've just been in a state of having really good upbringing. I cite my mother, Termario Daniels. She is someone who empowered me to know that it is an exceptionality. And not a lot of persons have a lisp, and the ones that do are doing great things. So it doesn't matter the fact that you have a lisp, but it matters what you have to contribute to the world.
Yeah. Final question, just look in that camera and tell the youngsters who may have gone through and still going through what you were going through, even not the same, for not the same reason, but still being bullied. What do you tell them?
I say that it doesn't matter what is going on right now. There will be a time in your life where you will grow up and realize that what happened back then happened back then. But you have the ability to change the narrative and create something and contribute to the wellness of yourself as well as the nation. So my advice to you, just hold the faith and know that this time will not last forever.
Well, Termario, I'm so impressed. I'm so impressed with what you've done, having gone through what you've gone through. The youngsters at school must be watching now and say, "Sister, dear, brother, you're late for school still. I'm so impressed. Thanks for coming, and thanks for sharing your story, because I think a lot of people wouldn't. I'm very, very impressed, and God bless you as you move on.
Thank you.
And hit up the youngsters who you teach. All right? Educator, advocate, Termario Daniels. All right, folks, when we come back, global economic uncertainty. We're looking at how we can cut food costs with innovation. Stay with us, please. Soon come.